We might have a lead on what happened to Lily.
We feel like we should check it out.
Yeah, of course. Do whatever it takes to keep the family safe.
So Matt Clark is free.
Just disappeared. Once he was released, he took off.
That means he could be anywhere. He could be on this ranch. How is this happening again?
The Young and the Restless, Y&R, spoilers for Monday, March 16th, reveal that Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, will fly into a rage once she realizes Patty Williams, Stacey Hayduke, has Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, right where she wants him. On the yacht, Patty will take advantage of drugged Jack's vulnerability. Jack's mind will be clouded enough to betray Diane, so they'll kick off a romp right as Diane makes her way on the yacht. Thanks to Billy Abbott's, Jason Thompson, investigative work and a bribed office manager, the Abbotts will know Patty is tangled up in Jack's yacht drama. Diane, Billy, and Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, will all make their way to the yacht via a rented boat, so that'll give Diane a chance to go looking for her husband soon enough. After Diane races through the corridor, she'll call out Jack's name and ultimately approach the door to his room. Diane will start pounding on it to see if Jack's inside, but she may find that the door's unlocked. That should allow Diane to open that door and see for herself what Jack's up to. The sight of Jack rolling in the sheets with Patty should leave Diane absolutely appalled. Of course, Diane may demand answers and quickly see that Jack's drugged out of his mind. Although Diane will have some complicated feelings about Jack's actions, she may mostly blame Patty and rip into her with everything she's got. Y&R spoilers say Diane and Patty will have a fierce face-off as their old rivalry rears its ugly head. Patty's decision to work with Victor Newman, Eric Braden, drug Jack, and take him to bed will cost her if Diane has anything to say about it. Jack will inevitably be horrified by what he's done once the drug starts wearing off. Although Jack may not go all the way with Patty, he'll go far enough to leave Diane hurt and leave her wondering about the state of their marriage. As for Billy and Kyle, they'll eventually get the latest Patty news as well. Despite Patty's dirty moves, it looks like she'll get away with her part in Victor's mess and head back to Genoa City before long. The Young and the Restless spoilers say the Abbott family has another major crisis ahead thanks to Victor recruiting Patty, so stay tuned. CDL's where you want to be for great Young and the Restless spoilers and news, so make us your favorite Y&R hotspot. The peace and quiet of the Abbott mansion is about to be shattered beyond repair. For weeks, Jack Abbott has been the target of a sinister plot, a pawn in a dangerous game orchestrated by Victor Newman and executed by the unstable Patty Williams. On Monday, March 16th, that plot reaches its devastating climax. In a scene ripped from Jack's worst nightmares and Diane's most paranoid fears, the unthinkable happens. Diane Jenkins Abbott, racing to rescue her husband, will instead walk in on a scene that will send her into an uncontrollable rage. Jack and Patty, together in bed. A rescue mission turns to horror. The week leading up to this moment has been fraught with tension. Jack's sudden disappearance and erratic behavior have tipped off his family that something is terribly wrong. While Victor Newman pulls the strings from the shadows, enjoying the chaos he has wrought, Diane, Kyle, and Billy Abbott have been desperately trying to piece together Jack's whereabouts. Their investigation finally points them toward Patty, whose recent return to Genoa City has been shrouded in secrecy and menace. Tells us the deep, scarred history between Jack and Patty, a history that makes this moment all the more tragic and explosive. Decades ago, Jack was in a relationship with Diane when he callously dropped her to marry Patty, primarily to further his career. Their marriage was a sham from the start, built on Jack's ambition rather than love. He continued his affair with Diane throughout, and the fallout was catastrophic. A pregnant Patty walked in on Jack and Diane together, a shock so great it caused her to miscarry. In the aftermath, a mentally fragile Patty shot Jack, an act of violence that haunted them both for years. Now, history is repeating itself in the cruelest way imaginable. But is this a genuine rekindling of an old flame, or is it something far more sinister? Given that Patty is acting under the influence and manipulation of Victor Newman, the scene Diane is about to witness is likely the culmination of Patty's deranged obsession and Victor's cold, calculated scheme. Patty has lured Jack into her web, and the final trap is a compromising position designed to look like a betrayal so deep, Diane will never be able to forgive it. As Diane, Billy, and Kyle burst into the room, the scene freezes in time. There is Jack, disoriented and vulnerable, and Patty, looking triumphant and possessive, in a situation that leaves little to the imagination. For a split second, the room is silent, the weight of the image crashing down on everyone present. Then, all hell breaks loose. Diane Jenkins, the fury of a wronged woman. Diane Jenkins is no stranger to scheming, betrayal, and fighting for her place in Genoa City. She has clawed her way back from the dead, from being a pariah, to finally secure her place as the matriarch of the Abbott family and the wife of the man she loves. Her marriage to Jack is the culmination of decades of turbulent history, and she has defended it against all comers, most notably Nikki Newman and Phyllis Summers. But this is a visceral blow that cuts deeper than any verbal sparring match ever could. The shock on Diane's face will be immediate, a frozen moment of disbelief. But as the spoilers indicate, that shock will quickly curdle into a white-hot, explosive rage. This is not the calculated anger of a business rival. This is the primal fury of a woman who believes she has been made a fool of in the most intimate and humiliating way possible. The sight of her husband, Jack Abbott, the man who promised to love and honor her, in a compromising position with another woman, and not just any woman, but his violently obsessed ex-wife, will shatter the carefully constructed facade of her perfect life. Diane's rage will be a torrent of accusations and venom. She won't just be angry. She will be wounded, her deep-seated insecurities about her place in Jack's life flooding to the surface. All the whispers, all the side eyes from people like Nikki, who doubted her transformation and her marriage, will feel validated in this horrifying moment. In her mind, Jack has proven that he hasn't changed, that the Abbott men are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past, and that she was a fool to trust him. She will likely round on Patty with a fury that rivals their confrontations of the past. But her harshest words will be reserved for Jack.
How could he?
After everything they have been through, after she fought to clear her name and win back his family's trust, how could he betray her with a woman who once shot him? The questions will fly, sharp and accusatory, leaving no room for Jack to explain that he is a victim, not a willing participant. In Diane's eyes, the evidence is damning, and her rage will be a force of nature. For Jack, this moment is the stuff of nightmares. Having been manipulated, possibly drugged, and held against his will by a mentally fragile Patty, he is in no state to defend himself. When his family finally arrives, he likely feels a surge of relief, believing his rescue is at hand. That relief is horrifyingly short-lived. As Diane's face contorts from shock to fury, Jack's will reflect a dawning, sickening horror. He will see exactly what Diane is seeing, and he will know, with absolute certainty,